So welcome to Exploring ChatEditor. This is going to be a really great, quick, fun hour. If you haven't already signed up, on Thursday, we are going to be doing a webinar at the same time for the companion piece to this webinar. So it is, the things that you can do. So it's meant to be a make and take. So the things that you can use ChatEditor to make and use with your patients, clients, children, whatever that is. All right, let's make sure. Yep, you're seeing that. Okay. So a few things. If you've never been on a GoTo training, there is a control panel. It'll look like one of these things. You can shrink the control panel. It's also a place where you can record, or not record, you can ask questions in the chat window. We'll also have some polls, and you'll see that. But you can also minimize that if you want to. And you can see the materials there. My good friend Michelle is going to be moderating for us today, so she's going to be answering some of the questions in the chat window and giving you guys some links for those kinds of things. All right, so for those of you that need ASHA documentation, there is an ASHA form under the material section. You don't need to fill in a course number, you just need to fill out your information and the completion date. That's how we'll know which training you were at. And we need that back in 15 days. As soon as the training is over, there will be a participation feedback, and you'll fill that in and get those things back to us to get your ASHA credit. So that's what your ASHA form will look like. Again, the completion date's the important part, and then your information, your ASHA information. And then everyone will get a certificate of attendance. Even if you don't need the ASHA, you'll get that. Okay, so just a little bit about me. This is going to focus mostly on Saltillo products. ChatEditor is a Saltillo product, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. My disclosures is that I'm an employee owner of PRC Saltillo, and I'm an ASHA member and a SIG 12 member. You should have some handouts there in the material section. You want to download those. Feel free to share them, and we're not going to go through that. That's really for you to have after the fact. And then a little bit about me. I'm going to ask you about you in a second, but I live in Oklahoma, and I attended the University of Oklahoma for both my undergraduate and graduate schools. I am a mom to one little boy who is doing homeschool right now, so we're sharing bandwidth. I said, maybe for an hour, you don't have to do your schoolwork. He was kind of excited about that. And I've been with Saltillo now for a little bit over a year. So I cover Oklahoma and Arkansas primarily, but then I cover all of our open territories. So that's about 11 states. So anywhere that there's not a local consultant, it's me, and I cover that virtually. Or if somebody goes on maternity leave, then I cover those temporarily. So I might know some of you from far away, and some of you may be closer to home. So our first poll, a little bit about you. The first one, it should be open, and are you a speech pathologist, a teacher, a parent, just so that I can see what you are, who I'm chatting with. Just gonna give that a little bit more time. All right, I see most of you guys have voted. We're talking to a lot of SLPs, a couple teachers, some paras, a couple parents, and then AAC consultants. Okay, very good. Okay, nice. So just so you guys know, there's 62% speech paths, 20% AAC consultants or AT specialists, 7% parents and paraprofessionals, and then 4% teachers. So thank you for that. Just thinking about it, have you guys used ChatEditor, and do you have ChatEditor installed? So the first one is, have you worked with ChatEditor before? We are about half and half. Okay. All right, just a few more seconds there. Really, it's about not exactly even, but 40%, 46% yes, and 54 no. Okay, that's interesting. That's good. I think you guys are going to really love it. It's one of my most favorite things that we have, and I use it often. So I'm excited to show you what we've got. And the next one is, do you have it installed? Oh, good. You guys look like you did your homework. Okay. So most of you do have it installed. That's good. So on your desktop, you should have a chat window or chat editor icon and a chat editor import. We'll talk about the two of those here in a second. It might be hard. You're going to have to just figure out for yourself if you want to work through chat editor and watch the PowerPoint, depending on what your learning style is. You're just going to maybe have to minimize and to be able to see both of those things. Alrighty. All right, so at this point, I'm going to turn my webcam off just so that I can look at my screen because I'm not looking at the camera when I'm looking at the screen. So I'll come back and say hello to you guys here before we end. Okay. So for today's short hour, we are going to talk about what Chat Editor is and how it can be helpful. I'm going to show you how to set it up to make a configuration. Hopefully you've had it installed, but I'll show you where to do that if you don't. How to navigate around the Chat Editor. We're going to talk a little bit about customizing and editing, how to transfer and back up your vocabularies, which I think might be a really important thing to do right now when we're all working remotely, sharing those changes with families and professionals, and then how to import those. So that's what we're going to hopefully accomplish today. So Chat Editor is a free companion software. It is only for PCs. We do not have a Mac version, so any of you who have Macs, maybe the reason why you didn't have it installed. So it's for a PC. It basically emulates what our vocabularies look like. So anything, it looks, what your device looks like can look like on your computer. So you can do lots of different things with it. So you can, like I said, use it to back up your devices or to transfer vocabularies. You can make materials. So if you needed to make, low-tech boards, symbols for things around your house, you can use it to interact on the smartboard. When we all go back to our classrooms, you can put your chat editor on your smartboard and it interacts. So you can have that in the classroom. We've got a great video of that that we show on Thursday's training. And then you can make books and all kinds of things that anything you can cut and paste into, you can use Chat Editor to do that. And then lastly, I threw this in there too, because I think this is going to be an important thing that we do working remotely. You could use it as your model. So if you are seeing kiddos through teletherapy, or if you just wanted to have an extra screen to model for your kiddos how you're using the device or how you would use it, you could pull up your Chat Editor on a computer and have that there to model. So the things that we're going to talk about today are customizing and transferring using the Chat Editor. The interact and create are the ones that we're going to talk about on Thursday. So first things first, if you need to install it, how you can get it, those of you who don't have it installed yet, on the Saltillo website, which is just saltillo.com, underneath products and vocabulary, you'll see Chat Editor. And then when it opens up Chat Editor, you just click on download now. There's going to be lots of versions, so it's going to start out with some numbers. You're going to have to hit that you agree to it, and then go to the very latest version. So we keep all of the versions on there just in case you need to go back. Also, if you have received a device from us in the past, you've gotten a CD in the box, we are going to not be shipping CDs anymore. Everything's going to go through it to a download. So if you have a CD, you could install it through the CD. All right, the other place you could get it, right there on the Saltillo website, it's also available on the TouchChat website. So if you go to touchchatapp.com, it's under accessories, and then the chat editor you would select there under learn more to download. And we'll talk about a little bit about that. If you have the old version, yes, you can, I'll show you here how to update that in a second. We'll talk about wanting to keep those devices the same, the chat editor version the same as your device. So first thing that we need to do when we open up our chat editor is to make a configuration. And why do we need a configuration? Because there's lots of different kinds of things. So you might have different features on your device, and you're going to want to make sure that your chat editor resembles that. You want them to look the same. So for example, the PCS symbols, which are the Mayer-Johnson symbols, they're only available on our NovaChat and our Chat Fusion devices. So if you have TouchChat, you're not going to have the Mayer-Johnson, the PCS symbols. You might have different vocabulary options in your TouchChat that you don't have on your NovaChats, and then maybe some different language options. So it's important that you know which device you're using. And here's a great example. Let's say I created some new pages under my on my chat editor, and I used the Mayer-Johnson symbols, and then I went to transfer it to my device that does not have the Mayer-Johnson symbols because they're an extra, they're an add-on. It would look like this without any of my symbols. So you really want to make sure that you don't do a bunch of work and then get it to your device and it doesn't show up. So we'll talk about configurations. You do have this in your handouts, kind of just to help you sort out the different configurations and the different features that you might need. So which device do they use, what language do they use, and the symbols that they use will help you when you're trying to make those configurations. Today, we're going to all make the same configuration, so we'll be just fine. To know what my device has, when I go to my device and I can choose the help, I can look under and see what about my device, what software version I have, and we're currently on 2.24 for both the chat editor and for the chat software. And then you can also see which symbols you have. Most everybody will have symbol sticks because they are default. And then if you have the Mayer-Johnson, the PCS symbols, it will say Mayer-Johnson Imagine on there. All right, any questions so far? Michelle, we're doing okay?
Yes, we are. I'm trying to get through as many of the chat window as I can, but yes, all is well so far. Thanks.
You had a bunch pop up. I'm trying to not be distracted by it. All right.
I got you. We're all good.
Okay. I'm going to show you guys how to do this. We're going to pop in and out here. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the PowerPoint, and then I'm going to show you how to do it on the actual chat editor. So again, whatever your learning style is, if you need to see it and then walk through it, feel free to do that. So I'm going to set a new configuration. When I open up my chat editor, I see my settings. And at the very bottom is configuration. I can switch configuration. Usually, if I just open it for the first time, you're going to get this window that says chat editor configuration. And I can create a new one there. All right. So you're going to go through a series of steps. You're going to either choose NovaChat, Chat Fusion. You could also choose TouchChat as your product you're supporting. The language that you want, English or Spanish is usually what's the top two. You're going to select symbol sticks today. That's what's going to be on most of your chat editors. Let me also say, if you have a device that has PCS symbols, they will not show up automatically on your chat editor. Once you plug in a device that has those PCS symbols, they will show up, but you need to plug that in. And then the training, whatever you want to name it. Here you could name it, I usually name it NovaChat, Chat Fusion, or Touch Chat. I don't usually name this a kiddo's name because I do that in a profile of vocabulary later. And then click OK. All right. Like I said, we'll go back and do a configuration once we hop over there. But some differences between the device and the editor. My chat editor will, when I transfer over a vocabulary that I've made on chat editor, when I transfer that over to a device, it will, the hidden buttons will transfer, settings will not. Anything I do to manipulate a button will transfer, but not settings on the chat editor. Word Finder is not available on the chat editor. So sometimes if I am creating things, I will have a device sitting next to me if I don't know where the words are in a certain vocabulary. And then the voice output. Your chat editor will not speak until you have plugged in a device to your computer, at least once. So once you've transferred, once you've plugged in a device, and your chat editor recognizes that, you will have voice output. Same thing with the PCS symbols. All right, so I'm going to show you the menu, and then I'm going to show you both of my screens here. Let's look here. If I can do this, show both screens. All right, so I'm just going to make sure that you can see both. All right. Do that over and smooth that a little bit. Okay, so when I look at the chat editor, this is what I call the menu bar, this purple highlighted area. So anything over here, the settings are similar to your settings on your device. The library is where all of your vocabularies are going to be. So you're going to find your default, the locked ones. You're also going to find the customized vocabularies under library. Help is where you're going to find what version you have, and also how to check for a new version. So when I click about there, it tells me that I have symbol sticks and I have PCS symbols. And then I know I'm on version 2.24. And so that's, I know I'm updated. If I needed to check for a new version, I could check there. It would go out to the internet and find a new version and tell if I needed to update. And then also one thing I think we forget often is that help index. So if you have questions, it will pull up kind of the manual. It's going to take a while here, asking later that. So you can look on how to do all of those kinds of things within the chat editor software right there. And then lastly, you might not have devices connected. I currently have a NovaChat connected because I want to show you how to do that later. You probably have 3 little dots right there. But once you've plugged in using the USB, it will say device connected there. All right. So we're going to go through some of the settings. Let's see here. When I choose settings, you can see I have input, speech output, abbreviations. This is where I would change the text. We're going to change a few things on here. The first thing I want to show you is under style. And this is style for the chat editor. This is going to be different from the style of a button if you're familiar with changing that. So the first thing here, though, under button style, we want our images to show. We also want to, I gotta remember this, have gradient fill. We want to make sure that is turned on so you don't have that red feedback. Let me show you real quick. I like having gradient fill turned off on a device because I get that red, see that red indication that I've touched the button. But when I'm doing chat editor and I'm doing capture mode, that red will interfere with that. So under style, under button style, I want to make sure that gradient fill is checked on. And then under navigation, oh, there you go. There's your PowerPoint to show you that. Make sure that's turned on. And then lastly, under the button modifiers, the navigation icons is what it should look like now. I don't want those to show. That just means if I have that clicked off, there's going to be little arrows, little arrows in the top right. See those on my chat editor? When I'm cutting and I'm using those for low tech supports, I don't want those little arrows to show. So I make sure that my button styles, that I have those navigations to no show. All right, so you can see that looks just a little bit cleaner when I have that turned off. All right, the other things under settings is you can change the view. And here's where, if you're trying to manipulate both the PowerPoint or the training, the webinar, and your chat editor at the same time, you might want to change the view. So you can change the view to be smaller or larger depending on your screen size. And then if you want it portrait or landscape. I would recommend to always do it landscape because that's what it looks like on a device. But here, if you are putting this on a screen, you're going to probably want it as big as you can. So I have mine set to 8x12 device landscape. All right. Also under settings is where you can print pages. So I can go and quickly print selected pages I want. So maybe I want to print out the home page. So I would just click that and hit print, and it's going to send that to my print window, to my connected printer. You can print different pages, all kinds of different things under print pages there. And if you needed to change your configuration, maybe you have a couple of different devices that you're working with, you could go here and do configuration and switch that configuration. And here you're going to get that back to that window. Okay. There we go. All right. Continuing back with the menu, I promise you we're going to get to that fun stuff and actually doing it, but under the library, this is where all of your vocabulary files are stored. Okay. My resources is going to be anything that I have customized or made changes to. Just a little bit similar to like in the devices, we have the default devices are locked, so you can't change the originals. So those locked files are going to be under English and symbol sticks, and then all of those are those original files. You can see that little lock symbol there. So if I go to Word Power, all right. We already did the help menu. I got ahead of myself there. Look at that. Okay, I'm going to close that. And then when we talk about the second menu bar down here, you have your forward and backward arrow. So that takes you from pages. So if I'm on a page and I need to go back, I can just use that back button. I would say that it's not working. The home button takes me back to the home page of the vocabulary I'm using. The stop sign stops it from talking. And then the X is like your X on your speech display bar. It X's out what's in the speech display. Edit mode, we're going to talk about that here in a little bit, but that's where I can change and customize my buttons. And then the capture mode does those really cool things where I can capture a sequence of buttons or a button and copy and paste that into something else. All of those things I just said. All right. So like I said, you're going to want to make sure that your chat editor version matches the version of your device. If it's close, it will be fine. There's not too many changes that we've made between the two. So if you are like at, like 2.21, well, we'll be fine with 2.24. Ideally, you can, you would go through and update that, but it doesn't have to happen today, and it doesn't have to happen immediately, as long as you're close. So you're going to want to make sure that those are the same. If you need to know what version you had, like I said, you would go to on your device to your menu, help, and about, and it's going to tell you what version you have. Again, that's also going to show you where you have, what symbols you have. On a touch chat, when you go to the vocabulary, they're going to be listed here on the version, and then also at the very bottom, it's going to say what version you have. This is 2.17, but it's also at 2.24. All right, here's where the fun. You guys ready? So we're going to learn how to duplicate a file so that you can make those changes, because on an original file, you can't make any changes. I'm going to show you how to customize a button, how to import pictures and use the tool. All righty. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go to library. Actually, let's make sure that we all have a configuration. So let's go to settings and configuration and switch configuration. I went through that really fast. I'm going to make a new configuration.
Amber, I'm going to jump in. It's Michelle. We're about halfway through, and yes, I agree.
Okay.
Looking at the chat window, going through and how to create a configuration, and then opening up seams would be beneficial, as some might have a vocabulary file and some might not have a vocabulary file visible.
Going up blank. Okay, perfect.
Thank you.
We will do that. Okay, so let's all start from the beginning together. We're going to select a new configuration. If you already had ChatEditor open, remember you can go to that setting, and down the bottom, ChatEditor, new configuration, or select configuration. So we're going to choose Nova Chat Fusion. If you only have TouchChat, that's fine too. I'm going to choose English. I could drop down and see what my other options are. I'm going to choose Symbol Sticks. I'm going to name this, I'm going to name it Training 2. You can have different configurations. If you have, maybe you have a Nova Chat and a TouchChat, you would want to have different, so you could do that. I can change my vocabularies within those configurations as well. And click OK. And mine opens up with a vocabulary. If your window is blank, I'm going to show you that right here. So you can go to the library. Under my resources, maybe those are the ones that I have configured and changed, and I deleted a whole bunch this morning. We're going to go to English, Symbol Sticks. We're going to open up a Word Power file, and we're going to do Word Power 60 Basic Symbol Sticks. And right here, I can either open it. I'm not going to be able to make any edits if I just open up the original file. I'm going to go to Duplicate. And here I'm going to call this Training. And I'm going to save that. And then it's going to pop up now. It's going to be in my resources. I'm going to open up that training file.
There seems to
so now I have
a bit of a lag, Amber. Just a little bit of a lag on the
background. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem.
So now I have a brand new Word Power 60. And I'll walk you through that here. English, Symbol Sticks, Word Power 60 Basic Symbol Sticks, duplicate, rename it, and here's where you could name it Johnny, Susie. You could have different files for each of your kiddos, and hit save. Then you're going to go to My Resources and open up that one you just saved. All right. So for customizing and changing those buttons, it's the same as on a device, but how you do it is a little different. So you can only edit, like I said, the file that you've duplicated. You can't change an original file. And here I would click on the edit mode. This is just like going to the menu and edit mode on your device. And all of my icons get a red background. On our devices, we would hold down the button to get that window to edit. Here, you're going to choose a right click. So maybe I choose me, and I'm going to get that edit button. You're going to get a lot of things. Remember, you want edit button. We're going to choose a different one here in a second. So I'm going to get out of edit mode. I'm going to navigate myself to social. I'm going to change my personal name. So I'm out of edit mode. I'm going to choose social, personal questions. And this is the page I want to edit. So I'm going to go to edit mode. All of my icons have a red background now, a red line around them. I'm going to change my name button, so I'm going to right click, and here I get that edit button. Okay, that's where we are. You're going to get a window that looks like this. This is the button properties. So the label is what it says, what the text is. The message is what it speaks. So sometimes those are going to be the same, sometimes they're going to be different. But I want the message to say, my name is Camber. Okay. I want to, here you go, search the image. So I can search the library, and I need to type in girl. It's going to search whatever's in that text box, so I hit search. And I can choose the different symbols I want. I like to think of myself as a cute young stick person, so I'm going to choose her. Okay, so now I have a picture. If I wanted to choose a picture from my computer, I could choose import. And now it's going to take me to open up my pictures and choose a picture that I have saved on my computer. And now I have an actual photo there. I can rotate my photo here. One more time. Okay, so now I have an actual photo. Let's see here. Yep. If I wanted to just quickly go to the next icon, next button, I can choose this next. It'll open up the next button in the sequence on the page. So I can say I live at Oklahoma. I can search for Oklahoma. I'm going to choose that one, actually that one, and select. Okay, so those are how to change the pictures. We're going to keep this up because I want to show you how to change the style tab. So same thing, if I wanted to open a button, I can right click and edit that button. And under the button properties, I have style, general style, and actions. If I go to style, here's where I could change the text. I could change the color maybe of the border. Maybe I want my border to be purple. Maybe I need the body of that to be a different color so it really stands out. Okay, I can also change the border width. Lots of different things I can do under style. Those things there. And then the last one on here is the button actions. And this is where you become a computer programmer at the click of a button. So these are the things that the button knows what to do when it's activated. So right now when I activate it, it's going to clear the display, and it's also going to speak the message that's that I put in this button. I could also change it to load and go to a different page. I can change it to do lots of different things on there. The one that I use the most is to navigate to a different page. So I could choose the one I want and say navigate, and add that. No animation. And then it's going to ask me what page I want to choose to navigate to. So I don't really want it to be, that would be silly. So I can choose to navigate. What I've done here often is under pets, my pets, I have lots of pets, so I usually will make navigate to a page that I've talked about my pets there. All right, so that is editing. Again, it's a right click and you edit button, and you can change those things there. I'm going to toggle out of edit mode. And then if I need to navigate around, I need to be out of edit mode. Okay, so I have to hop out of that to navigate back to the page I want to be at. Okay, I'm going to show you real quick how to use the hide. Maybe I want to hide some of these buttons on here. So I'm going that you do that through edit mode. So I choose edit mode, and you can see I have hide mode pops up. So you have to hide one page at a time. So maybe on my home page, I'm going to hide. Any button that I click will be hidden. Or a real fast way to do it, I usually like to do hide all and then choose the ones I want. So maybe okay. So if I'm working on just a few icons, I can make it look like that. To get them back, I go to edit mode, hide mode, show them all. Everything's back in its place. This is going to walk us through that. All right. For sake of time, we're not going to have time to practice that, but I will stay on afterwards, and if anybody needs help customizing, we will. Transferring a file is probably one of the most important things. Again, with all of us working remotely, we need to be able to do that. So, and also backing it up. We make it super easy for you to back up those files. If something were to happen, if a device gets run over by a car, and you have done a ton of work to edit and make their vocabulary personal, you want to make sure you have a copy of that so that you can put it on a new device. So you can do that easily through the ChatEditor. It's also a great way to transfer. So again, if you're making adjustments and you want to get that to a family, you could email them, you could send them the new vocabulary file. So to transfer a file, you need several different things. You can use the USB cord that comes with a charger, or you can use the dual flash drive that we send with our devices. It has a micro USB on one end and a regular USB on the other. So to back up for a NovaChat, you can direct connect. Again, that's with the cord for the NovaChats and the Chat Fusion. You can use the USB. This is where it gets tricky if you have TouchChat. You can do it in lots of different ways. So lots of ways to do that. The TouchChat Express and the TouchChat app can now use a USB drive if you have iOS 13. It has to be a USB that has the Lightning adapter and the USB on it. So those are available now. And again, you have to have that iOS 13 on there. But you can back up through using iShare. And iShare is a subscription, but you can get that, you get it free with the device purchase. And then you pay for the next year. So that's basically a cloud sharing that you can use your device. You can put your vocabularies in the cloud and save them there. You can also back up through iTunes, Dropbox, and AirDrop on the TouchChat app. So we're going to do it first through using a NovaChat. So I'm going to show you. You can see on my ChatEditor that I have devices connected. Okay, and if I want to, I'm going to go to my library, and I'm going to do transfer. I'm going to transfer vocab to and from device. And you can see on the right side, I have all of my ChatEditor files. This is what's on my computer, and then these are what's on my device. So if I wanted to move something from my device, let's do word power high contrast to my editor, and now it's over here on my editor files. Okay, I can do the same thing from my computer to my device. So maybe I want to take this training file to device, and it transfers it over to my device. Show you what that looks like here. Okay. And hit done. Now, if I open up, that high contrast is the one that I moved over. I can open that from my resources, and there it is. I'm going to go back and open up training. All right. So that is how easy that is to do. For lack of time, I'm not going to show you, but the same thing happens when I put in the USB flash drive. If I put the flash drive into the device, I go to the library and then hit the menu again, and I get a window that is able to transfer those vocabularies to my flash drive, and then I can put that in my computer. All right, so we're going to really quickly go through how to do it on TouchChat. Again, I'm going to show you how to do it through iTunes. We have very detailed videos on how to do that with, to do it through iShare and also through AirDrop or Dropbox on the TouchChat website. So when I'm in ChatEditor and I have a TouchChat configuration, I would go to the library. This time I'm going to transfer vocabularies to file. I'm going to choose the one I want to transfer and click transfer at the top. It's going to ask me where I want to save that, and I'm going to save it to my desktop just so it's easy to find. And you can see the file type is a .ce. That's for ChatEditor. So it's a ChatEditor file. And I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to open up iTunes. Let's see here. I think I'm just going to walk through it on here. Sorry. Let's just show this one. I'm going to open up iTunes. When I open up iTunes, I'm going to see a little visual of that I have the device connected. And when I open up that, I open up file sharing, and I see my TouchChat. I'm going to open up TouchChat. I'm going to add a file. I'm going to go and find that file from my desktop and open. And then it's going to go to my iTunes. Then when I get to my iPad, I'm going to go to Menu and Import Export a Vocabulary. I'm going to import it from iTunes. I'm going to choose the one I just transferred. I'm going to make sure I have titled it right, and I'm going to hit save. And then I'm going to be able to open it. When I go to vocab, choose new vocab. And then I'm going to import, export. This is what we just, oh, this is taking it to backing it up, sorry. Hit save. So this is going the reverse direction, exporting versus importing. When I go to iTunes, file sharing, TouchChat, there's that file. Save that. It's going to my desktop, and then I can open it in my ChatEditor. All right. Here are some videos about how to do that with iShare. I think it's pretty quick. I'll show it. Choose that vocabulary, hit the menu, use the iShare service, log into my account or create one. And right there is where I can save my files, depending on different ones I have. And there it is. All right, so I can save lots of files in my iShare and put them on my devices. AirDrop is super easy. If you have two devices that have TouchChat on there, you can just use AirDrop like you do your photos. So if they're close to each other, you can export that to AirDrop, and then the other iPad can agree to take it. You can also email these files. So here, when you, let's say you've created a file and you want to email that to a teacher or to a parent, I would go to Library and Vocabularies to File, choose the one you want, transfer it. You're going to save it on your desktop. And then when you make your email, you're just going to attach it. That file needs to go into that ChatEditor import, which is going to be that file on your desktop. That tells the software that it goes into My Resources. So we will automatically open up. You can also email certain just pages in the same way. So instead of just grabbing the whole file, you could choose pages. So maybe you just wanted to send the friends page, you would do it the same way. All right, real quick, because I want to get us excited for things that we can do with ChatEditor. We can make all kinds of books. If you don't know about Tar Heel Reader, we'll talk about it again on Thursday, but it's a really great tool. You can create books, you can download books. I'm going to show you an example of a book that I wrote on Tar Heel Reader about dogs. They have just a whole library of photos, and then I just added the symbol supports using the capture tool. Big dogs, little dogs. And then I was able to print this or even use it, download it into a PowerPoint to use virtually. So Tar Heel Reader is a great tool. Here's another one for Thomas the Train. Okay. He's green, he's nice, blue, lots of things. So if you have kiddos that love certain things, you can find all kinds of supports there in Tar Heel Reader. And again, this is the one that's the session for Thursday for the ChatEditor. We're going to do a couple of make and take things. We're going to make a recipe, some flashcards, also a book. If you need more help or you have questions about Saltillo or about ChatEditor, you can go to our website and find your representative under support and training. Right now, we're not doing any in-person trainings because of COVID, but we are doing lots of things virtually. So we have some webinars planned for the rest of this month. We're going to do a whole nother series in May. But if you need to find your local representative, have questions about devices or funding, feel free to do that there. And it might be me if you're in an open territory. There are recorded webinars. This one's being recorded. Lots and lots of different things on our website. There's also some on the Touch Chat website, so you can look at that as well. And then lastly, we have about, I don't know, maybe 8 more minutes. I wanted to leave this time so that we could have questions. I'm going to put my webcam back up. But if you do want this ASHA credit that you need to fill out your forms, I meant to tell you that you needed to stay on all the time, the whole time, because the go-to training timestamps it. And so to get credit, you need to have stayed here the whole time. I say that afterwards. So sorry about that. Okay, I'm going to turn my webcam on. And if anybody has any questions or wants me to go over anything a second time, I know that was really fast with a lot of information. Michelle, was there anything that I need to address?
I think I answered most of the questions in the chat window, but if people do have questions, we would ask that you do type them in the chat window and we can answer them as they come through. And we'll just give you a couple of moments to process all of that information while you type in any questions that you might have. We do have.
Did you send them?
Sorry.
Links for the Touch Chat transferring and backing up?
Yep, there's a whole bunch of stuff in the chat window in regards to backing up. In regards to the certification, you will receive that after about an hour or so after you receive the email from GoTo Training.
I was going to show now that my this is the dual flash drive. So one side is mini USB, and then the regular USB. So this side goes into the device, and this one goes into your computer. So that's a really fabulous tool. And then I actually have a USB device for Touch Chat, for the app for an iPad. I also use it for my phone to get photos off of there. So this one goes into the iPad or the iPhone, and then this one can go into my computer. This one that I purchased actually has a software that runs with it, an app, so that it goes through the app, but it's really easy to do. So I could save my touch chat files here and then put them to my chat editor same way.
If you can, I would suggest signing up for Thursday's class. There'll definitely be more tips and tricks in regards to how to use the chat editor. I know a big reason I also use it, in addition to backing up, is for making support materials.
Yes. Okay, so did I understand correctly? Is there USB flash that goes into this iPad? Yeah, so this is a flash drive that plugs into a lightning cable, or like the lightning port. I got it on Amazon, and there's several different kinds. You have to, again, have the iOS 13, so your devices need to be updated. So this goes into the computer or their phone, just like that. And then you can run through and put what you need on here and then take it out, and it goes straight into my computer. So I do a lot of videos on my phone, and they take up space, so I use that for that.
So we'll check in regards to Thursday about it potentially being full. We are not, this is where we get to say we're not fully in charge of all those things. So we will check with the powers that be in regards to that. So I apologize that. In regards to what brand that is, you know, we don't support the use of third-party products, but they are available for those, as all technology, especially iTechnology, changes. It kind of depends on the iPad and everything that could be potentially used. Obviously with QuickTalk or Freestyle loaded with Touch Chat. Can't get that's a great question for that company that makes the QuickTalker. Since that's technically not our product, that would be best to be directed to the company that makes the QuickTalker Freestyle.
And I have no idea what brand this is anyway. It doesn't say it on there.
How do you paste and copy buttons from to the Tar Heel reader? That's the button editor, or excuse me, the button capture function. We have a lot of videos on our website under, I'll post it in here, but under the Saltillo website, under the video tutorials, which is under our implementation section, there are a bunch of lovely, I think they're lovely videos. I'm going to paste that specifically into the chat window right now. Oops, sorry.
And I'll show you
one person. Let me do that again.
Yeah. We're going to do that on Thursday. If it's full, I'm sorry. So basically you, you have your chat editor open, and I hit capture. Whatever icon sequences I touch is going to go into that, that window there. Love eating pizza. I just want a hot delivered pizza right now. And then I can copy that to clipboard. I can open up anything that I can paste into. I'm going to open up a Word document. Maybe. There we go. And I can paste that. And there it is. So I can just print that. And I can manipulate it. It sees it all as one photo. So if I needed to separate those, I would have to capture those separately. We'll talk about that a lot on Thursday. So again, I can, I need cookie. Copy to clipboard, and I can put that quickly, easily on a Word document.
And one thing that's lovely about this feature is that it's not Wi-Fi based. So once you have ChatEditor installed on your computer, there's no need to worry about the Wi-Fi connection. You can resize those pictures. We've made a whole bunch of different materials with them as well. And there's some lovely stuff floating out there on some of the social media posts as well. We also have a fair amount of resources on the implementation section on the Saltillo website. Camber had shown in a previous slide this I Feel book. So I'm just going to hyperlink, or excuse me, share the link in the chat window for that I Feel book. That can be printed off, and it's pre-made from there.
Yeah. Okay. thank you guys. I know that was really fast. It's a lot of information and it's hard to do when you're trying to manipulate screens and making sure that you see everything. So this is being recorded. You could go back and watch it.